Welcome to Mi Kamcha Yisrael. In this week's Parashat, the Torah teaches us the laws of kosher and non-kosher animals. At first glance, these Pesukim appear to be little more than a list of dietary laws, yet beneath the surface lies a profound lesson not only about kashrut, but about the way a Jew should speak to another human being. The Torah tells us that a kosher animal must possess two distinguishing characteristics. A, it must chew its cud, and B, be accompanied with split hooves. The Torah then identifies four animals that possess only one of those signs: the camel, the hare, the hyrax, and the chazir. The Gemara makes a remarkable observation. From the time the Torah was given until today, a span of more than 3,000 years, countless species have been discovered across every continent on earth. Yet not a single one has ever been found that falls outside the Torah's description. There has never been an animal that chews its cud without split hooves, other than the four. Nor has there been an animal with completely split hooves that doesn't chew its cud, other than the chazir. Think about that for a moment. How could the Torah make such a definitive statement about the entire animal kingdom? Had even one additional species ever been discovered, the Torah's words would have been disproven. But generation after generation, expedition after expedition, the Torah has remained flawlessly accurate. It's yet another breathtaking reminder that the Torah could have only been written by the Creator himself. Yet Rabbi Yisachar Frand points out that hidden within this remarkable proof lies another lesson, one that speaks directly to every one of us. When the Torah describes these four non-kosher animals, it could have immediately told us what disqualifies them. Instead, it deliberately begins with what is correct. The camel chews its cud, but it doesn't have split hooves. The chazir has split hooves, yet it doesn't chew its cud. The Midrash asks an obvious question: why mention the positive characteristic at all? If the Torah's purpose is simply to tell us that these animals are not kosher, why not begin with what is lacking? He goes on to explain that the Torah is teaching us far more than the laws of kashrut. It is teaching us how Borei Olam speaks, even when Borei Olam must point out a deficiency per se. And the Torah must tell us that something isn't acceptable. It first acknowledges what is worthy of praise. If the Torah can find something positive to say about a pig, how much more should we strive to begin with the positivity in every person that we meet? All of us at times, you will have difficult conversations, a parent with a child, a husband with a wife, perhaps a teacher with a student. Too often we begin with criticism. The Torah teaches us a very different way. Before speaking about what needs change, first acknowledge what is already beautiful. Not because it's merely an effective communication technique. Rather, that is the way that Borei Olam speaks. There is a splendid story that brilliantly illustrates the extraordinary power of speaking with respect before making a request. During the presidency of Harry Truman, the White House announced that the president would begin making a weekly nationwide radio address, and each week he would summarize the nation's most important events and outline his agenda for the days ahead. After a careful study, they concluded that Friday evening at 8 p.m. would attract the largest audience. The work week had ended, families were home, and the nation would be listening. To most Americans, it was a perfect decision. But for thousands of observant Jews, it created a painful dilemma. Listening to the president's address would require being Mechalel Shabbat Kodesh. Missing it, however, meant being excluded from one of the nation's most important weekly broadcasts. Most people accepted that there was simply nothing that they could do. After all, what influence could one extraordinary or simple or ordinary person have over a decision made by the President of the U.S.? Yet one Jewish woman refused to accept that respectful words were powerless. Her name was Mrs. Barrel. She sat down. She wrote a letter to President Truman. What is striking is not merely that she wrote the letter, but how she began. She didn't open up with criticism. Instead, she began with sincere appreciation. Mr. President, I wish to express my deep appreciation for your outstanding leadership of our great nation. I was delighted to learn that you're going to be addressing the American people each week. It's amazing. Only after expressing her genuine admiration did she explain that as an observant Jew, she and thousands of others would be unable to listen because the broadcast was scheduled during Shabbat. She respectfully asked if the president would find another time that would be considered. She signed and she mailed the letter. She expected nothing. The odds against her were absolutely overwhelming. And every single day, as you know, the White House receives thousands of letters. It was estimated that nearly 95% were opened, briefly reviewed by the staff, and discarded long before they ever reached the president's desks. Common sense would suggest that Mrs. Barrow's letter would suffer the very same fate with no political influence or personal connections. She possessed nothing but one heartfelt letter, written with dignity, sincerity, and respect. A week later, an envelope bearing the seal of the White House arrived at her home. Inside was a formal reply informing her that the president had personally received her letter and was giving her request careful consideration. Then, barely 3 weeks later, President Truman made the most unexpected announcement. Beginning the following week, his nationwide address would no longer be broadcast on Friday evening. One ordinary Jewish woman with no influence, no connections, just one respectful letter. That woman had changed the schedule of the President of the United States. Who knows why her letter stood apart from the thousands of others and touched the president's heart? Only Borei Olam has that visibility. Ladies and gentlemen, one thing though is certain. Words spoken with dignity, with humility, and genuine respect, they possess a power far greater than we often imagine. Perhaps the greatest lesson in these Pesukim has nothing to do with the animals or even kashrut. It's a window into the Ribono Shel Olam. The Torah could have described these animals in a single sentence and began with what disqualifies them. It chose not to. Not because the camel or the hazir would be offended. The Torah wrote those extra words for us because every word of the Torah teaches us how Borei Olam Kaviyachal thinks, and that may be the deepest lesson of all. Kodesh Baruch Hu never denies what's missing, but somehow he never allows what is missing to eclipse what is already good. And perhaps that's why the Torah first reveals a virtue, only then a deficiency. Because before he tells us what still needs change, he reminds us of what is already worthy. And maybe that is the most comforting thought of all. Every one of us stands before Borei Olam with shortcomings. Every one of us has something that we still need to repair. My list keeps growing. Yet the Torah quietly whispers that our Creator does not begin there. Mika'amcha Yisrael, Shabbat Shalom and Mivorach.